All right, it's your boy Mixmaster to be here live for the MMB Radio Podcast from the MMB Radio Studios, where no topic is too big or too small. We talk about them all. And on the phone lines, I want to welcome in adult film star Miss Blake Morgan. Blake, welcome to MMB Radio.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I'm really excited about having you on because I know a little bit about you. I know that you're blonde and you have tits and, you're amazing at what you do. But I want to dig deeper. I want to get into, that Dr. Phil mood. I want to find out, the whole history of you. So, you ready to answer some questions tonight?
That's a loaded question. I guess so.
Yeah, it won't be that serious, you know what I mean? I'm not going to have any commercial breaks. There's not going to be any cliffhangers. We're just going to have a fun time talking about, your life as an adult film star.
Awesome.
So, I guess first things first is that you're still kind of, fairly new to the business, right? You're not, haven't been in this for, many years, right?
No, yeah, I'm super new. Technically, depending on what people's idea of new is, my first boy-girl scene was, at the beginning of July. So, really new on that, but, I shot my first girl-girl scene in December. So, even still, I only did 2 to 3 girl-girl scenes before I started doing boy-girl scenes. So yeah, pretty new.
So, coming up on a year for girl-girl and then just a couple months in for girl-guy scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if anybody goes to your Twitter account and says, MILF performer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess my question to you is that what got you into the business later on? A lot of girls come out and however route they take to get into the business, they come into it fairly young.
Uh-huh.
What made you get into it later on?
Well, I got married really young. My husband used to work for AVN years and years ago, but not on the porn side. He's on the technical side. But so young, there was no that. It didn't even cross my mind at all. But I've always been kind of a little bit on the slutty edge. And a couple years back, we kind of found ourselves in the swinger community.
Mm-hmm.
That happened super organically. It was one thing after another, just kind of domino effect. Led us to that. And from there, it was just we're already, having sex with other people. And so I started webcamming, with the idea in mind of doing, porn eventually. The webcamming was to basically, get myself acclimated to being on camera, talking to people. But like I said, I've always been kind of on the sluttier side. And,
which we totally love and appreciate here at MMB Radio.
Perfect. But yeah, so we were swinging. We met a couple that, actually the wife owns a production company. And, I was like, ooh, I really kind of want to do porn. And they were like, well, if you are super, super sure, 1,000,000% positive that you want to do it, then we'll give you your first scene. And, so then it was that. I loved it. It's really, if you ask anyone, I'm not the type that likes, not that I don't like working, but I don't like working for other people. And it's really the only job that I like doing, that I want to continue doing.
So, kind of take us back to the origins. Where are you originally from?
Southern California.
All right, so SoCal, California. So, growing up in SoCal, it's kind of like the porn capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
What is your earliest exposure to porn?
Oh, I used to watch the Playboy channel, years. Obviously that was softcore, but I got caught watching, Playboy when my parents were out of town out of the house for dinner with one of my friends. We got in trouble for it. That was in 6th grade. I got caught in preschool, 1st grade, masturbating at school. I'm not.
Can you even qualify that as masturbating, or is that just kind of just late development?
playing with my vag, and it felt good.
Well, I'm saying, to some psychiatrists and doctors out there, see, this is where it's going to turn into the Dr. Phil segment.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people, that might just be like, how like little kids are like, they realize they got a hand, and they're like, oh shit, like I got a hand, or like, oh wow, I have feet. Like,
I realized I had a clit, and it felt good. Rub it.
Now, who actually found you when you were doing this?
I don't know. I really don't remember that. I just remember being in trouble. I got in trouble a lot for this kind of shit. Like, I got in trouble when I lost my virginity. It was like a whole thing. My family is my dad is more on the strict side than my mom would be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been a...
Please tell me you didn't lose your virginity in the second grade.
No, I didn't lose my virginity until I was 16.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of fairly kind of average, like most people are about that,
Yeah, but then I was
time.
with a few people before I got married at 19, before I met my husband at 18, so I was hoeing it up for a minute before I met him. And then I was a little wifey and all of that jazz for quite a few years. I don't really, though, I'm super happy that I didn't get into porn when I was younger, because I would have made mistakes, I think, that I won't be making now, because I know myself so well compared to how I knew myself then.
So if anybody takes anything out of this podcast and this conversation, it's know yourself first. We have fun here on MMB Radio, and we talk and we joke, and, but in all seriousness, like, a lot of people I find out get into porn, and then it's like, they don't think about what you're really getting into. Like, you hear what you're getting into, and you know what you're getting into, like, you think and then, afterwards you're like, you're on social media, like, denying that you were...
yourself.
Yeah.
Well, they don't, when you're young, you don't understand the ramifications of what you're actually doing, and how, like, you can't go do porn and then all of a sudden just be a doctor tomorrow. Like, once you do porn, you're kind of like the scarlet letter, in a sense, depending on who you talk to. I mean, I don't think it's that way, because obviously I do it and I love it. But for people that don't understand, it's really a negative, even though those are the people that watch it the most likely.
Yeah. What do you think about people who were in it and then got out of it and then distanced themselves, like, are in complete denial, like, try to do like a witness protection program type thing where they don't even acknowledge that part of their life?
I mean, I just think that it's different strokes for different folks. There's some times where, they did it out of maybe like desperation, or they did it to get back at someone or do something that it was not like a well thought out choice. So they're maybe regretting the decision they made, where, or maybe they just want to pretend it never happened. I don't really know. I mean, my family knows everything that goes on. Not that they love it. They don't, but I'm their daughter. So, it is what it is, kind of thing. And, I don't know. I'm just super open-minded. I was not always raised an open-minded person, and I wasn't necessarily even really open-minded until after I was in the swinger community, because it really just opens your eyes to, like, humans being sexual, and nothing wrong with the fact that even if you're married to someone, like, sex is just sex, and being able to separate the difference between love and sex, because there's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Now, growing up, you said you were kind of hoeing it up a little bit there. Did you have any, like, real solid relationships with anybody, like, through high school, like any boyfriends? And
I had a boyfriend, the one that I lost my virginity to, he, which actually at that point, I didn't even realize it, but him and I, swapped partners at that age. So I technically was like a swinger at 16, 17 years old with one of my friends and her boyfriend.
And all four of you knew this was going on, or?
Yeah, we knew it. It was all in the same room.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I didn't even think about it. And then my husband was like, babe, you totally, like, did that at that age. I'm like, no, I didn't. And then I was like, wait a minute. I actually did. 'Cause he knows everything that, I did when I was younger. even though it wasn't him. It wasn't him.
Yeah, definitely. High five on that, you know?
High five. Way to play it when you're 16.
So, what was your attraction to girls? Did that come on later on, or did you always kind of like mess around with girls growing up?
I kissed girls like in preschool, kindergarten, like in the bathroom stall. I remember doing that and being like, oh my gosh, like afraid, because it was not the same. Like if you kiss a girl, like, oh, am I like a lesbian? Is that wrong? All of those thoughts. Hold on one second. His mom's coming. Sorry, I was telling my husband something.
It's all good.
But I was kind of like afraid of it, and I now know I'm definitely not like 100% lesbian. I like girls. I'm picky with the girls that I find attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely say more on the bisexual. But yeah, it was, I had tried things, but really hadn't ever like been with a girl until my adult years in the swinger community.
So when you talk about the swinger community, how many years or how long have you been actively in this quote unquote community?
Since 2015.
Okay. So for people out there who are listening who, I mean, obviously people kind of know what the whole swinging thing is, and, but how does one get into that, and then is there any kind of like fear when you first got into it? Like, whoa, this is, do I even know what I'm doing? Is this safe?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like, for us, it was, like I said, it was super organic. We found out by accident from neighbor friends of ours that they were in it. We had heard about it because he worked at AVN and he had a boss who was a swinger, but that was like so, again, like way out of the like realm of even thinking about it at that point. But you could go online and search swinger club or swinger party and you'll find things. But, yeah, for us, it was scary. I'd only been with him since 18 years old, and I was 30 years old, 31 when, he and I had our first encounter with another couple. And the first time, because there's different, like, levels of like hooking up with people. You'd be like soft swap would be like just like maybe oral. And then like full swap would be obviously the full having sex, but then there's like same room or separate room or hall pass. There's so many different things. But our first, encounter, whatever you want to call it, was soft swap, and both of us, we were nervous, and we were like, oh my gosh, like I was, of course, super nervous. I'm kind of like I don't know, I get excited about things, but then I'm like, ooh, I'm afraid, like, what if it changes shit and we don't like, whatever, I don't know. But we did that, and I didn't even really barely touch the other guy, and both of us were like, that was so boring. Like, we've been fucking for a long time. We're just gonna, like, go give someone a blowjob? That's boring as hell. So we were like, fuck that, and then went, like, full swap.
Now, when you do this, is there times where you're like, oh wow, that was really cool, I liked it, enjoyed it, but then other times you're like, all right, that was kind of lame? I mean, I know you're saying like how you did soft swap, but like even if you did like a full swap, like did you ever think about maybe this isn't what I want to do? Like, like it was like a bad experience.
Part or just the couple that we were with?
Just the couple you're with, like the overall experience.
Yes and no. I mean, there's some couples that are more fun than others, for sure. But no, we never were like, oh, we don't want to do this. It was just like, oh, that was all right. Well, let's not do that one again. Mm-hmm.
Now you get to pick and choose? Like, how does...
Yeah, you pick and choose. I mean, him and I would, we'd meet friends or couples and be like, oh, like, they're fun. That'd be fun to hook up with them. And then, you talk to them about it. It's kind of like dating, but you're dating a couple and we're a couple, and you just kind of like, oh, well, it'd be fun. Like if we're at this, there's events that like we've been to a couple like swinger events, and you're like, hey, let's like meet up when we're there. And then, it's again, like dating, like everyone has to kind of vibe. And then it's like, all right, well, everyone on the same page. Cool. Let's go bang it out.
So you can actually meet the same people over and over again if you'd like.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, we have friends that will we typically, with porn and the swinger community, they don't mix super well because, like, at least in my eyes, because I am tested all the time. Like, I'm not going to risk a test to be with someone who's untested, or not know their status on their test. But there's an event that's every year that we usually go to. And so we'll see friends that we saw the year before, and we'll probably, if they test and everything's good to go, we'll probably hook up with the same friends, because we only see them like once a year. They live in who knows where. That's the cool thing. It's like a big fraternity of hoes.
So when most people are out making, like, a gathering, like, hey, we're just going to go to dinner with some friends and everything, like, you guys decide we're just going to go and screw, or is there like a lead up to it? Is it like a date, cocktail hour, or do you just kind of just meet up somewhere and it's just like, all right, let's just get down to it? Most
of the time, I would say like 80% of the time hanging out with our swinger friends, we didn't even have sex.
Okay. So it's like, it's not like a...
No, it's not like a free-for-all. It's like, you meet people that are like, they get you. They're not judging you based on like the fact that you want to have sex with people that aren't your husband or wife, because they're doing the same thing. And not only that, they're open-minded just about everything in general. They're fun. They like to travel. They, usually keep themselves in good physical condition. So it's like when a lot of the people that we knew were like us, like married, young. Like, it's hard to meet couple friends when you're a couple and like actually everyone get along. So
now, have you ever had, just say, because like people out there who are not in the adult industry, so like obviously you and your husband kind of have a little bit more of a, I don't know how to say it, like a different kind of approach to the swinger community, because you have like that direct connection to the adult industry. But just say like there were just normal people. There's a couple that are listening to this who are like open swingers, and they have friends that they have at their office job. How do you bring something like that up? Or or would you just recommend that they just do the Google search for it?
Like, in what regard? So, like, their friends at the office are asking them about being...
No, I mean,
like they want to hook up with someone they work with.
Yes. So, I mean, I guess it would probably be easier to kind of hook up with people that have already experienced in that community than it is to try to bring new outsiders into that community.
Yeah. Most people that are swingers don't love... I mean, there's some that want to hook up with the newbies because it's like fresh meat or it's like a challenge. But most of them don't want to hook up with new couples, because if it's a bad experience, then that person is going to blame you. Just like losing your virginity, you know what I mean? Like, if it's good, then it's good. But if it's bad, then whatever. And also because sometimes people get like clingy, I guess. Like they
can't separate the emotional part from it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I wouldn't bring it up. I don't know. But I don't like seek sex. Even before I was in porn, I wasn't like the type that would be like, oh, I really want to hook up with that guy or whatever. It would be just more like, oh, we're at an event, like, ooh, that couple's hot. Like, let's go handle that. But,
let's go handle that. Pray, sick 'em.
We used to check out girls, my husband and I, together, like, all the time before we even knew anything about the swinger stuff.
Bring like blow darts and just kind of like shoot a dart into their neck, and then they fall, and kind of just drag them back.
We hope they want to go willingly.
Yes, let's not incriminate ourselves here on the podcast. Oh yeah, we drugged them and brought them back. No. So, what kind of guys and girls are you physically attracted to?
Oh man.
I mean, I know it's tough because you're married, but I mean, obviously, like in the swinger community, like, have you and your husband ever disagreed?
Really. I would say yes and no. I mean, he is probably more picky, I would say, than me, because for me, it's not necessarily only the way the guy looks, but like the vibe. Like, if someone has a really good personality, it brings them up a few notches. You know what I mean? Like, if they're like witty, or like if they're not just like talking to like a plant, like, it's way more fun. And you're going to have a good time, because it's not supposed to be like this serious lovemaking session. You're supposed to be joking around and like, having a good time. So it's for me, for the guy side of it, more of like a vibe. Most of the guys that we've, in the couples that we've been with have been like way different than each other. No type specifically. Girl wise, I like small girls. I don't know, like petite, pretty. I'm really like I'm like a face person, so I like people that have pretty faces.
And dogs too, you know.
And dogs, clearly. My bitch.
Well, God knows. Well, I mean, you didn't have to lock him out of the room.
She's annoying. She'll just keep barking.
I was like, we just hear a door shut, like, wow.
Bye, bitch. Bye, Felicia.
Exactly. Like, the vibe was definitely not working there with the dog.
No.
But I can attest to that. Like, personality, that's got to be my strong suit. Like, God knows I'm not out there, you know what I mean? Like, genetic jackhammering it anywhere. So I try to roll off the whole personality thing. I'm like, if I can get in the door with just being witty and funny, then I can come up a couple notches. So it's refreshing to hear someone as hot as you'd say that, hey, if you got a good personality, you could get laid, you know?
No, for sure. And that I'm 1000% like what you see is what you get. I'm honest as fuck. Like I'm not making anything up. Anyone that has hooked up with us knows that like, it's not like, there's no, what would you say? Like GQ model type. I'm not like I don't want to say I'm not picky. Like I said, he's more picky in the sense that he's like, babe, this was his analogy. He said that for him, I'm a Lamborghini. Like he drives a Lamborghini and he's not going to test drive anything less than something equivalent to a Lamborghini. So if you're like a Porsche or like a, Ferrari or, even like a Nissan GTR, something of that caliber, he'll test drive it, but he doesn't need to trade his Lamborghini in for a Pinto.
Yeah, exactly. He's not driving an El Camino or a Honda Civic.
Exactly.
With a flow muffler on it or something. So
exactly.
So in the porn business, like I said, you have it on your Twitter account. First off, let everybody know where they can find you at on Twitter.
I'm at Blake Morgan XXX on Twitter and at Blake Morgan XO on Instagram.
All right. So on your Twitter bio, you mentioned that, new MILF performer. And we touched on the title of MILF. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of against the whole label thing, whether it be, straight, bisexual, you know what I mean, all this other stuff, lesbian, gay, MILF, what have you. You put it on there, so I'm guessing you're kind of okay with that, but what were your true feelings on that? Like when people are like, oh yeah, you'd be a great MILF actor.
I mean, I've had kids for a decade, so I am a MILF. I don't have, I'm probably one of a few performers and a very few that actually don't care that they have that title because I am that. I guess it's technically like girls that are over 30. So if you haven't had kids, you haven't like lived a day in the life of someone who's a mom that people like fucking, it would be a little bit weird. But for me, like that, like I said, that's been my label for a long ass time. So it's just kind of like natural for me to carry that.
Because we've had guests on the podcast who are like, yeah, I get labeled as the MILF because I'm over 30, but it's purely just for the fact that they're over 30. Like, they don't look older, and not saying that you look older or anything like that, but like they don't, like they could pass for like a young 20-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, but
I get like 26 sometimes. People look at me and they're like, yeah, there's no way you're a MILF. I'm like, I am. I'm 33.
Now, you said you've been a mom. What is life like being a parent in the business? And not only in the business, but in the swinger community?
No different. I mean, we're super, like open with, not with our kids knowing like what this business is, because they definitely don't at this point. They're not of mind to understand the whole thing. But, they, if my kids have a question about sex, I answer their question because I want to be the source of information rather than find it somewhere else. I don't know, I guess we're just new aged in the parent sense. I was 22 when I had my first child, so I've grown up with them a little bit. So it's just, it is what it is. I'm sure that people will judge, but their opinions don't pay my kids' bills or any of that. So I don't really care.
I mean, I could totally understand that. You'd rather your kids find out directly from you the answer than Google or, you know what I mean, from some other kid on the school bus, who was giving bad information. And, but speaking, go ahead.
And I didn't have a relationship like that with my parents where I could really tell them things. And I want my kids to be able to tell me things because I want to be able to help them. Their mom.
Yeah, definitely. And what I was going to touch on was, do you felt any backlash from other parents at school? I mean, obviously, I'm sure people know what it is you do. I mean, you can only kind of hide it so much.
I would say not at this point because we just relocated to here from Arizona. Okay. So part of that reason was for the kids because where we lived in Arizona was a very, very, very religious, judgmental community. And here's a little bit more open-minded. But no, here we have not. Family-wise, yes, because the first thing that they say when they find out is, oh my gosh, you have kids. And we're like, what does that matter? We're not doing anything that's illegal. We're not hurting anybody. It's a business. And if you take the sex part out of it, it's still a business.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, because you get those people, though, that are like those, hardcore conservatives out there who are like, you're exposing your child to an endangered, environment and blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you haven't already dealt with that, do you kind of have a game plan of how you would combat something like that if it were to ever arise?
Probably not really a game plan at this point. Just more like I like to think I've raised my kids to not give a shit what people think. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure they will. And for me, the more it would be like, oh, a parent's not going to let their kid come play with my kid because of what we do. But you can see based on their grades and the way they behave and treat other people that clearly what I do for work doesn't impact the way I parent my children.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool, though. I mean, they're good kids and, getting good grades and, involved in community type things. So mm-hmm. There's no flags to be, bring up any kind of questions. So that's very awesome. No.
And I know kids that are raised in, perfect little cute households, that their parents both work regular jobs at regular places and all of that. And they end up, addicted to drugs or whatever. So it doesn't really matter what your parents do for work. You're going to do what you do anyways,
Yeah.
My parents were perfect and I ended up in porn. So.
Yeah. Well, and I was just going to say that, a lot of those people who've had fucked up relationships with their parents and family, they end up guests on the podcast. So
yeah,
it works both ways.
My family was great in the senses of, both working regular jobs. They're still married. Like I lived a normal childhood. I didn't have any weird shit happen. At least I don't think. I just am a horny person.
And again, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So what I did is I was letting people know that you were going to be on the podcast, and I got a couple questions from fans.
Okay.
So there are people out there who may already be familiar with your work, even though you're still kind of new in the business, and then other people who are just like knew you from Twitter and Instagram and were like really hot chick, want to ask some questions.
Cool.
And one of the questions I wanted to know is if you could direct your own scene, who would it be with, and how would it play out?
Oh shit, that's a hard question. You should have given me like a little bit of time on that one.
Hey, I told you, maybe the hard ones.
If I could direct my own scene, I don't know. I mean, I have so many like ideas because I do shoot my own content all the time. I don't really know. I need to come back to that one.
Okay. All right, we can go back to that one. So, I mean, another one we have is kind of like along the same lines. They want to know, what is your celebrity crushes? Do you have like a celebrity crush?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's a weird one. Not like a normal one, but I think he's super cute.
Okay. And maybe he could end up being in the scene?
I would be down with that. I mean, he did play that part in, what was that? Dawn, the one where he's like super obsessed with porn with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. Don Juan, I know what the hell you're talking about, though. Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The one movie I did not see, but I do know what you're talking about.
You're not missing anything, but really, like, when I picture him in Inception. It's hot.
Okay.
So, that.
Okay. Now, do you have any female celebrity crushes?
Female celebrity crushes. No, I'm just not like a starstruck type person.
Okay.
Really?
Not a crush. Take out the word crush. What hot female celebrity would you love to hook up with? Because crush could be like you think they're cute and they got a great personality and you know what I mean? And honestly, there's some pretty hot girls out there in the celebrity world that I'm like, you know what? Their personality might be shit, but...
Oh, what's her face? Margot Robbie.
Yes. Perfect.
She's hot.
Yeah, she definitely is. Definitely is. Especially when she played, like, Harley Quinn. You know, like, it was like, wow.
And she's a little cuckoo, so that makes the hot even hotter.
Which she was perfect for that role because, like...
I like her in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes, I did see that.
That's like how I am in life.
She plays those roles really well, though. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the roles that you get casted for that are loosely based on kind of, like, who you are yourself, you play really well because there's no acting involved. You know, it's just like, I'm just going to be myself.
That's kind of how I am on all of my scenes. That's why I feel like because they feel so comfortable to me, like, they're like, yeah, you need to just be like, take charge and kind of like the bossy housewife. I'm like, oh, damn, that's me every day. So, I mean, I'm good with it.
Now, is there anybody in the business that you are a fan of that you would be like, oh, I would love to do a scene with them. I would love to work with them.
Everyone. Well, minus a few, but no, I would like to work with everyone. I love all the different, because every company shoots a different style. Every performer has a different kind of like vibe. It's like eating different flavors and trying different, eating all of the ice creams.
So you just went Baskin Robbins on all their asses.
Usually. I mean, I'm all about food.
You're all about food. Here you go. Follow-up question then. What is your favorite food?
I love Mexican food.
Okay. Now, Mexican food can make, like, anal scenes, like, really, like, messy, though.
I've never done anal on camera yet.
Okay. But it'll be a non-Mexican food night that week then, I guess.
I mean, Mexican food doesn't really do that to me because I eat it so often. And I don't really eat, like refried beans or anything like that. I like to say I eat a lot of things, but I eat pretty healthy for the most part.
Now, looking through your Instagram here, like, yeah, I would say, like, you eat healthy. Like, I mean, there's a shot here, like, with, like, a 6-pack going on. So, how do you find time to work out? I mean, I know, like, the rumor is that you can burn 450 calories having sex. I'm going to assume that this isn't all sex exercise. So,
no.
How do you find time to work out?
Well, it's really only like an hour every day, depending on the week, 4 to 6 times a week. So really, I mean, that's 6 hours in your week. I think that anybody who doesn't work out, it's just not a priority in their life. It doesn't mean that they, don't, but for me, it's not just physical, it's mental to be able to get in the gym and just like turn off from the world for a minute. And I love it. I love the way I feel, not while I'm doing it. I hate it, but when I'm done. But the 6-pack is not necessarily from the workout. That's from the diet.
Okay. All right. So, looking through some of these other questions we got from people here, what are your favorite types of scenes to shoot? Now, you don't have many under your belt, but what would be your favorite types of scenes to shoot? Do you enjoy the girl guy, or do you enjoy girl more?
I enjoy boy girl more than girl girl for sure.
Okay, why is that?
Because I'm not totally a lesbian.
Okay.
I like penis over vagina. I like boy girl where it's, you know, two girls and you're going back and forth from the guy to the girl. Then it's like having your cake and eating it too.
Mm-hmm. So you like options.
Yeah.
What girl doesn't, right?
Exactly.
So, okay, so have you thought a little bit while we've been talking this scene? And it don't even have to be a scene. Like, if you had a fantasy, I mean, have you fulfilled your fantasy? I guess that's the first question.
Yeah, I mostly have, you know, I'm super simple. That's the thing. I don't have like big, like, not that I don't have big dreams or big aspirations. I'm easy to please, I guess. Like, my husband's laughing over here. He's laughing. He's like, okay, babe.
I'll keep that in mind. Take notes of the podcast. She's easy to please, so your job is so much easier now.
Uh-huh. No, he's laughing because he's like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like simple. Like, I don't really know. I don't really have, do you think I have any fantasy, babe?
You just like to get Eiffel Towered all the time.
He said I like getting Eiffel Towered all the time. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Okay.
So I like
wrong with that.
having two boys to myself. That would be if I were going to do a scene and it was like Blake gets to choose everything, it would be that.
Okay. Now, where is one of the wildest places that you've ever had sex? Wild in the sense for like the common folk out there that's listening.
Okay, not necessarily a location. But 7-person orgy, Las Vegas. Last time we went to swinger party, and then they all like came on me, like on my tits.
Okay. So that's something that is not every day that people get to do after a 9 to 5. So
no, it was amazing, and my husband and I like high-fived after that. We were like, that was awesome.
You got to do like one of those things where you like run and do like the players
chest
like the
bump.
sports apps. Yeah, do the chest bump and like yeah.
He wasn't gonna do the chest bump because I was covered in everything.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that maybe not
Once
at that
I showered.
moment.
But yeah, that was a weekend. We took charge on that weekend. We did the 7-person orgy, and then there was also 3 more couples that weekend.
Now, go ahead. Were you going to finish the thought there?
We just really like did it that weekend. We were proud.
Definitely. I'm high-fiving you guys. You know?
Yeah.
Virtual high-fiving right now, you know?
For sure.
So, what is long-term and short-term goals for you in the business?
Short-term, shoot as many scenes as I can. You know, make that paper. But, you know, work for all of the companies. Long-term, continue building my brand, creating my own content, shooting my own movies. Just really like being a name that everybody knows, and not necessarily just for being the name, but for, you know, just doing it big. I'm not just here to make money and be out. I'm here to, you know,
and then deny that you even did it on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I own that. Like, I like knowing, like, it's not for everybody, but I like the publicness of it. I don't know. It's just me. But
Gotcha.
yeah. So long term, producing. I'm getting ready to put together my first movie that we've shot all of our own content. So that's exciting. It's all girl only.
Okay.
And it's me with 4 girls, different scenes, all with the same toy.
Nice. Definitely a must watch then.
Mm-hmm.
So, God, that just kind of threw me all off track now. I'm visualizing all of this in this toy. I mean, is a specific toy? Like, can you kind of give us a little more visualization on that?
It's a double-sided.
Double-sided. Okay. All right. So to follow up what I was going to say with that is, so you mentioned that, you were in Vegas when you did this like 7-person orgy love fest that was going on. And I noticed
Fuck fest.
fuck fest. Okay. Definitely no love involved, just straight
No.
fucking at that point.
The crazy part about that is that after one of the couples that we hooked up, it was before the orgy, but we hooked up with one of the couples and we were like so turned on by everything that happened that night, even though we both had like gotten off multiple times. We went back to our hotel room and fucked for like 2 more hours.
Nice. So definitely, I mean, a lot of calories burned that day.
Yeah. Well, the thing with swinging is it's like you get to, you're doing this fantasy, but then when you go back with your partner, you're reliving the fantasy that you just did with them again. Mm-hmm. And also, like, you try different things, so then it's like, oh, well, if I'm giving that guy an A+ blowjob, I better be giving him an A+ blowjob on the regular, you know? So it's like, you gotta keep up with your own Jonas.
Yeah, like, definitely, husband can't get sloppy seconds, you know? Like, he's gotta get the best.
Yeah.
So, fans that want to meet you, so we've already promoted to Twitter and Instagram and everything, but do you do, like, any appearances? Like, or have you thought about doing any kind of, like, club appearances or conventions?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely up for doing club stuff. I'll be at AVN this year, signing for sure with my agent at his booth, hopefully with a couple other companies. I shot 8 scenes in September, so hopefully I'll have quite a few out by AVNs in January. Yeah, and I'm heading back out to Reality Kings in a week and a half to shoot some more scenes with them. But yeah, I'll be at AVNs for sure. No, I'm not going to be at Exotica. But yeah, I'm always up for meeting fans and, you know, doing appearances. Hopefully I'll feature dance at some point. I got to get my dancing skills like on lock before I do that.
Do you currently have a pole in the house anywhere?
No pole in the house yet.
So you got to get one of those. That's the first step, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now you mentioned you shot a bunch of scenes in September, and it's worth noting that we share the same birthday. So fellow Virgo, September 22nd. There. What did you do for your birthday weekend?
For my birthday weekend.
Besides fucking, because that's probably the given.
No, I actually didn't. I was because I shot a scene. I shot my first Brazzers scene the day before my birthday, and I was like out of commission for my actual birthday.
So you didn't have any like plans? You didn't go out anywhere?
We did. We went to a friend's comedy show,
Mm-hmm.
And then we went out to West Hollywood and went to Mel's Drive-In and ate. I had a milkshake and some curly fries.
Did it bring all the boys to the yard, though?
My milkshake always brings all the boys to the yard.
If it's not bringing the boys to the yard, then it's not a real milkshake. You know?
No, then it's like a
frozen
halo
milk.
Top. It's like a Halo Top milkshake. Yep. But nothing super crazy. Like I said, we usually go crazy on his birthday. That's his birthday falls on the same weekend of that big swinger party every single year. So we usually go balls to
lucky
wall.
for him, you lucky bastard.
Yeah, he's lucky, but it's not like I'm not getting, my enjoyment.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. You gotta make sure you get yours too.
Right.
So, one of the things I want to definitely mention before we wrap up the podcast, though, is I noticed it was tweeted out and you posted on Instagram, 50% of all of your sales from any of your many vids, Skype shows, or customs are going to be donated to the Southern Nevada Red Cross to help out with victims of the Las Vegas shootings. It just kind of like, if you have able to kind of like wrap your mind around the whole situation, because I'm still kind of processing it, and I mean obviously a lot more information is going to be coming out about it, but what kind of shows are you going to be doing? Videos, like how can people get on board on this to kind of get the ball rolling on this?
I mean, I do private Skype shows, so your typical like webcam shows, but I just do them privately. I'm not on a website. I do it on a website, but, private shows or custom videos, and anything that I sell on my ManyVids this week. I had a couple friends that were at the event. And to be honest, the main reason I want to help out is because I wasn't at that event, but I witnessed a terror attack myself. And so I feel for the people that were, obviously the people and their families that were hurt or killed, but also the people that witnessed it. It's terrible. It's something that you'll never forget. Like, it will impact your life forever. And I just wanted to be able to help in any way that I can. I can't be in Nevada. So, that's, my small part, I guess, that I can do to help.
Yeah, definitely sympathize with what you're saying. People think that, you survived or you weren't hit, so therefore it didn't affect you in any way. It goes down to even celebrities, like Jason Aldean, who was on stage at the moment. You know what I mean? They think, oh, big time celebrity, got all this money and everything. Like, that psychologically can, affect you long term.
Seeing dead bodies is something that will change you. Also seeing, pain or just thinking like, oh wow, like if I were just like a couple feet over, it would have been me. Like what butterfly effect took place that changed that for me in my life that day, and who had to die in my place, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like it changes your view on how short life is.
It's definitely not a movie, it's not
no.
This is real life, and you see that thing. So, definitely people out there who want to go ahead and get one of your ManyVids or do a custom Skype show. How would they go ahead about contacting you for that?
They can email me, blakemorganxxx@yahoo.com.
Okay.
Or they can go to my ManyVids. It's, blakemorganxxx.manyvids.com.
Okay.
And then also, email would be good for like the Skypes and customs. But all of that information you can find like on my Twitter.
Gotcha. Well, definitely, I want everybody to go out there and take advantage of that offer. It's for this week only, so we got a couple days left in the week. So definitely anybody who is listening to this podcast, like, I'm gonna just sacrifice and say, you know what? We can listen to this podcast after you're done doing the Skype show with her. After you watch your videos. You can put me on the back burner, but definitely take advantage of this deal.
You're really doing your part for charity if you buy one of my porno videos, because it's a win-win. You're helping people out, and also you get to help yourself out when you have a wank later.
Exactly. We all have stressful days, you know what I mean? What better way to kind of like just suppress any like bad vibes that we were having that day by watching porn.
You'll feel so good about yourself. You got off, had a great orgasm, and also gave money to people that really need it.
Exactly. Could have had a V8. So, well, is there anything else you want the fans to know before you leave?
Just that I really appreciate, all of my fans. I know that, part of getting booked and getting shot for companies is the fan base. And I love that my fans, follow me and love what I do. And I have a lot of fans that have been my followers on Twitter since I had, 500 or 1,000. And so I love them growing and watching my career, blossom, I guess you would say. So I appreciate every one of you guys. And I try to let them know that and tweet back as much as I can. I get busy, but I do appreciate all of you guys.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on. So check her out on Twitter, Blake Morgan XXX, and on Instagram, Blake Morgan XOXO. I follow her. You should follow her. You should do
just one XO on Blake Morgan XO on.
Oh, just the one XO.
Yeah.
And, I follow her. I don't really pay attention to name. I get kind of caught up in the pictures. It's like I use Instagram for what it's for. It's for photos. I'm not looking at words. I'm not looking at the captions. You know what I mean? If I throw a hashtag on a picture, great. I'm looking at ass and titties, and I'm like, loving this.
Perfect. That's why you gotta be on Twitter, though, because you can't really show good stuff.
Yeah, you definitely do. And like I said, you definitely take advantage of these clips, and I'm going to try to figure out some time this week that we can do a Skype show, because I want to help out the cause and help myself. I want to help myself help you.
It's
So,
people helping people.
exactly. That's what it is. It's what makes the world go round, you know?
Right.
That and pussy,
Exactly.
you know? So, and it's just, it kind of goes hand in hand here. So.
It's all good.
It's all good, baby. So, I appreciate you again talking to us. We'll be hearing big things from you. And anything we can do here at MMB Radio to help promote anything you got going on, definitely just, shoot us a DM, let us know, and we will do whatever we can, because we want to see you more out there.
Yay, I want to see me more out there, too.
Well, you have a great evening, and thank you for, again, talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Take care of yourself.
You too. Bye.
Bye.